All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for hopping on the call. So, we are into week one. Some of you are a little bit further along. For those of you that just started on Monday, I feel like it's already like, I don't know, Saturday, Sunday. But I don't even know what day it is. It's Tuesday. So, day two is done. Way to go. So, if you're in any of the groups, just give yourself a lot of grace because you're going to be seeing people like post like I lost 10 pounds or 4 pounds or I didn't lose anything. Just be proud of yourself, guys, for being here, for doing this program. Most people don't even want answers, right? They don't even search for answers. They just kind of like go on with their life and don't even try and figure this out for themselves. So just give yourselves a hand for doing this and prepping, and it's hard work, right? I definitely I haven't prepped in a long time, so I don't even know when I prepped on Sunday. I was like, oh my God, I forgot. But I'm sure next weekend or this weekend coming up, it'll be easier. So just know that it's going to get easier as we go along. But you're in the process, right? You're figuring out. We don't expect perfection, so don't expect it for yourself. And keep your blinders on, meaning like you're going to see, like, I have a lot of weight to lose. And maybe you don't. So if you see other people post that they lost a lot of weight or they are seeing this progress or that progress, right? Like just focus on yourself because this is going to impact people differently. So don't compare. I think Lisa Humphrey posted today, comparison is a thief, right? Of all joy. Did you post that today? And it is like, don't give that away because you're focusing on what other people are doing. Focus on yourself and controlling the controllable. And that is meal prepping during your workout if you are working out, drinking your water, and all the things that we talk about, right? So just be proud of yourselves for being here. And I just wanted to say that first and foremost. So I was kind of like going through like a million ideas of what I wanted to talk about tonight. And she had this stool chart, but I don't feel like she touched on it. So that's what we're going to talk about is poop because, like I said last week, I've been dealing with stomach issues my whole entire life. My son had, stomach issues recently. So I feel like I got some good tips and tricks to help you guys with this. So this is kind of like Goldilocks and the three bears, right? Like you don't want it too hot, but you don't want it too cold. Same with your poop. Like you don't want it too hard and you don't want it too soft. You want it in the middle, right? You want it at that four, the type four, which is, as you guys can see, and we'll kind of like talk about like the constipation. And I feel like most people have that issue. And then we'll talk about diarrhea and just other like little tips and tricks that can help you guys get in that middle. Because if you have constipation, what's happening? Lots of toxins are getting built up. Your motility in your stomach. So in your intestines, you have like these little finger-like projections called villi. And when you're constipated, when you eat processed foods, when you eat a lot of sugar, those villi stop moving. So what happens? The motility, so the movement in your intestines slow down, and that's where you can get constipation. That's where you get a lot of toxicity built up. If you're constipated, like I remember not too long ago, this woman reached out to me and she was constipated for 2 weeks. She hasn't pooped in 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, like you need to go to the emergency room. Like your colon can get stretched out, your intestines can get those stretched out, and we can go down that rabbit hole, but we won't. So we need to poop at least once a day because we need to get rid of the toxins that we're taking in. Now, on the other side, diarrhea, if you constantly have that watery stool, you're not absorbing your nutrition, right? So you might be eating and doing the right things, but if you're unable to absorb those nutrition or absorb that nutrition because it's passing through you so quickly, then you're going to be malnourished. So, and that's usually what happens. You're either really super toxic because you're so backed up, or you're just really malnourished because you're not getting in all that nutrition that you're actually putting in your mouth. So here are my tips and tricks for constipation. And if you guys have any questions, obviously you can ask in the chat, and then after I go through the slides and stuff, you can ask questions. You can unmute yourself. So if you are constipated, guys, definitely go on Team Beachbody and get the Soothe now. Like I said, it's awesome. It's awesome. It works. I take 2 capsules at dinner. I think if you already have it, I recommend that to everybody. It's just going to help get things moving, keep them moving, and also help you heal at the same time. So it has the aloe and turmeric in it, like I mentioned last week. Magnesium is huge, just an overall general function of your body. It is used in so many cellular turnovers, meaning like your body needs magnesium to do so many different functions in your body, along with vitamin D. I mean, there's so many things, right? But magnesium is just huge for constipation, and just I would say like most people are magnesium deficient, and you cannot, your body does not hold magnesium, meaning you cannot like overdose on it. So there's different types of magnesium. This magnesium calm is my favorite. So this one is magnesium carbonate. Like I said, there are different forms. So you can test out different forms and see what works right for you. But I find that this really helps to get people moving on day one. And even if you're like, I'm not constipated, but I'm not regular, I would definitely suggest just, I mean, I have a scoop every single day. I give it to my son. He had this whole withholding and constipation thing going on. I give it to him in his water. I just give him the plain. He doesn't like the flavored. I personally like the raspberry lemon flavor. It just tastes really good, and it's really good at night time. Kind of like helps curb like cravings, because you have something that tastes good, but there's like no calories. And it helps keep you calm and lowers anxiety and stress. So definitely take this at night, or else you might be like walking around like a little zonky wonky. So yeah, do any magnesium, I would just do it at night. And it's going to help you fall asleep too. That's why it's called Magnesium Calm. So that is my number one go-to if you are backed up or not going at least once a day. Magnesium flake bath. And I'll post all the links when I get the recording up, so you can just go to Amazon and get them. I do like Epsom salt, but I find that the flakes are more pure, so they don't have like extra like crap in it. And then when you add a cup of baking soda, it just helps for your skin to absorb that magnesium a little bit better. So I would just sit in this as hot as you can tolerate. You don't want to like a lukewarm bath. It's not, again, it's not going to absorb that great, but do it just for 20 minutes. And you, like I said, you cannot overdose on magnesium, so you can do that daily as well. George's aloe vera is really great. You can do 1 tablespoon in the morning, put it just like in a glass of water. It's tasteless. It tastes like water. I put it in Parker's water every single day. That really helps. Triphala is 3 fruits, just like put together. It's just a pill. So it's just a plant, 3 plants that you just eat, that you just swallow. Again, do this one at night. This will definitely get you. So as we go down the list, I already have magnesium flake twice. You're gonna like, as we go down the list, it gets like more like intense, like, all right, you're definitely gonna go. I wouldn't do this every single day. I would do this if it's like, all right, like things are not work, like all the other things didn't work, like this would be like a heavy hitter. Charcoal isn't really a heavy hitter either, but you don't want to do it every single day. So you can't see it in my Ziploc bag, but it turns everything black when you touch it. Your poop might look a little funny colored, but it's just coconut activated charcoal. So charcoal is really good for pulling out toxins, but it's also going to get things moving as well. So if you do have, say, like for me, I know when I have gluten by mistake, or like they say it's gluten free and it's not, and I have it, I instantly feel like super, super tired. And I'll take this at night because this is going to pull out the protein from gluten and just get that out of my system a lot faster. And the reason why you don't want to do this every single day is because it will also pull out some nutrients because it's pulling out things. But if you feel like, especially now, like we're in week 1, we're changing a lot of things, we're adding a lot of things. If you are feeling some symptoms like headaches or even some bloating and stuff, you can use charcoal just to kind of help get things moving along. Diatomaceous earth, I don't have any left, but it's just like white powder, and you can mix the two. So it's called like a slushy something, but you can mix like the charcoal and the diatomaceous earth in just a half cup of water. Just, it's, guys, it's not going to taste great. It's not going to taste like anything. It's just going to taste like chalky, but take that down. And those two things combined are really going to help to get things moving. And again, pull out toxins from your system. Oh, Smooth Move tea. This will really get things moving as well. This has senna in it, SENNA. It's another plant, but again, it doesn't pull water into the colon. It actually gets your colon moving. So if you have stuff in your colon, it's going to move it. So I would like do this with something else that's going to pull water into the colon. So like this and the magnesium are going to like really be working hand in hand to get water into the stool and then to push and get it out. And you can get that from traditional medicinal, cool name. Okay. And a lot of people ask me this, oh, I'll just take a laxative. So doing that and Miralax, you can just Google like Miralax, like symptoms, and you'll be astonished, even just like a one-time dosage of Miralax, what it can do for you. It's absolutely horrible. I won't go into it too much, but it actually strips you of your good bacteria and it slows down that motility of that villi I was talking about. So yes, it will get your stool moving, but it's causing you more damage than good. And it's almost like if you take it once, you keep on having to take it over and over and over because it keeps weakening your system as it goes along, and it doesn't really solve any problems. It just kind of creates new problems. So I would not go that route. Definitely go from the top to the bottom of the list here. And then always just like increase your water. As I take a sip of mine, just doing that alone, guys, would have a huge difference. I know, like I said last week, most people think like, oh, like, all right, I drank enough or whatever. Like it makes a huge difference with so many things. Just try and get more in if you can. And if you, especially like if you do magnesium, like you, or any of this stuff, like you need that water to hydrate to help get things moving along. Another thing that's not on the list that I forgot about is MCT oil. You can use this as one of your teaspoons. You can actually cook with this as well. So it's just like, it's coconut oil. It's the I forget the, the triglycerides. Yeah. So it's heavily refined coconut oil. So even putting like a teaspoon of this in your shake, start very slow with this. If you do too much, you're going to be running to the bathroom really fast. But you can put this, like a lot of people put this in their, I know we can't have, I won't say the C word, coffee, but you could put this in your matcha tea, and definitely go check out my video that I did today on how I make mine. But this, again, it's going to just get things moving. It's also going to coat that stomach lining and intestinal lining as well to help get things moving along. I'm just trying to see. I have all my stuff on my table. All right, I think that's all the stuff for the constipation issues. All right, diarrhea help. So a lot of people think like because you have diarrhea that like you're cleared out, and sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes like people don't fully empty when they have diarrhea, so you can still be constipated. But with diarrhea, it's more or less likely. I mean, it is something that you're eating, right? There's something that your body is trying to flush out of your system like ASAP, right? Like I know before I learned all of this stuff with food and allergies, there would be some instances like I would have to know like where's the local bathroom if I'm going this way or that way, like, and I didn't connect two and two together. It was the food that I was eating. So anytime I did go out to dinner, I'd be like a sweating heap of like panic because like I'm with people. And it's like, super uncomfortable to be like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom 500 times. So really with this, just track your food, right? Like, when is it that it's happening? Is it happening quickly? If it is, it's more or less likely what you just ate. And I think in the next slide, I talk about when you eat like one of your food allergies, it stays in your system for a really long time. And you can see symptoms in 72 hours. So sometimes you don't see it right away. Sometimes you'll get a headache like 2 days later and you're like, oh, it was something I just ate. It might not. You can't tell, right? So just track with this, like definitely track what you're eating. You can take 1 teaspoon of psyllium husk in water. That is like a gelatinous fiber, and that will definitely like bulk things up, especially if you eaten something you shouldn't have. That really does work. And then of course with this, make sure you're staying hydrated, because if you have diarrhea, water is going out, you need to get some water in. What else did I want to say with this? It might come back to me. All right, so overall tummy issues. And I would say like anyone can do any of these things, right? Like it's not gonna hurt you to take more magnesium. Like I said, it's needed for so many cellular turnovers. The I Love You massage, I don't know if any of you with kids do that, but you want to, it's just a massage for your large intestine to get things moving. I don't know if you guys can see, but my high-waisted underwear here. You want to start on your, what is this? My right side. You want to go up as an I, over, that makes it L. And then you want to go up, over, and then down. And you want to like really press in and do this over and over and over. Do this like after your workout when you're like lying down on the floor and doing it in that shape. So that's the shape that your large intestine goes in. That will really help to get things moving if you are constipated or not regular. But even if you do have some, like I said, diarrhea, you still might be having some backup, something stuck in there. If you think like our intestine is so long, and there's a lot of nooks and crannies in there. So just massaging it really helps to get things moving along. So this book, obviously I read it before kids. I don't know. I think this doctor was on a podcast and it was just super intriguing to me. And the title is Why Isn't My Brain Working? But he was talking about gut health, and Autumn was talking about how, our stomach is our second brain. So there is nerves coming from our brain, right? And one of them is called the vagus nerve. And if that isn't talking, right, sending the signal to our stomach correctly, then our intestines aren't going to, and our stomach, it's not going to work like it should. It's not going to be receiving the message to move and to, do all the things that it needs to. So these little things, so singing loud, so you now have permission to like rock out in the car, gargling, and I know this one's really weird, a gag reflex. So if you get like a tongue depressor or even like your toothbrush, don't choke, don't like make yourself vomit or anything, but just like a light tap, like, like when you go to the doctor's office, that's going to stimulate the vagus nerve. So this has nothing to do with food. Like anybody can do this, right? But it's going to be like a muscle. It's going to work that brain gut muscle so that it's stronger, so that it gets that connection, so that that nerve fires better. So it's called the gut brain axis, right? Like we want to make sure that it's good and strong. And like all the other things of processed foods, overeating sugar, stress, all of that makes that vagus nerve very weak. So if you don't, I think in the book he says, like, if you don't have a strong like gag reflux, that this vagus nerve it got really weak. But like I said, like this isn't going to hurt you by singing. It's not going to hurt you to gargle with water in the morning. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff is just going to help you a little bit more. Now, the next thing, but anyways, if you are like super nerdy like me and really want to understand about leaky gut and gluten and all those things, like I highly recommend this book. I mean, I was going through it today again because I got like so encaptured by it again. But next week's call, I might do a little bit more on this because it's just so good. Next one is colonics and enemas. I know some people are like freaked out by that stuff, but again, like this is your health, this is your body. You only have one. I've done colonics in the past. I've done enemas. They are super helpful. They have a place in your, in your tool bags to help you. But like I said, like some stuff gets stuck in there, right? In the nooks and crannies. So that's why like the colonics and enemas are super helpful to get things out. Castor oil packs. So you just take castor oil, you get like a flannel like square. You can just, again, I'll put all the links when I put up the recording, but you're just going to put that castor oil on the flannel sheet. You're going to put a heating pack on it and just put it on your right side by your liver. And that's going to really help detox things. It's really going to help to move things along. You can also put it right over your stomach as well. Your stomach's on your left side. And that, again, like it's just going to infuse your body. So castor oil, if you've ever had a baby too, you can use that for induction. But castor oil helps to release things. So getting that on you with a heat pack is really going to get things moving. And it's actually really nice and soothing as well. Ion gut support. So this, I forget where I found this. I think it was another podcast, but it's pretty popular now. So our soil that we use nowadays to grow our food is like super depleted of nutrition. Like 50 years ago, it was very different because we've over farmed, we use pesticides and chemicals to grow everything. But this is actually soil minerals, and it doesn't even smell like anything. It's just like, it looks like brown water. I take this, Parker takes it. I just like squeeze a little bit in my mouth right before I have my meals. So this is just giving your stomach those, the minerals that have been missing from the soil. And there's a really great podcast I'll try and link to about this on how it helps your pre and probiotic grow and keep that stomach lining intact. Yeah, and it's just called Ion Gut Support. It used to be called something else, but they changed it. And then just anything that's going to help to lower your stress, get the lymphatic system draining, like with massage, acupuncture to hit those meridians, get those nerves firing. Pelvic floor PT, we talk about that a lot on our team, is super, super helpful. And even going to a chiropractor, even if you don't have back problems, if there is a misalignment and your nerves are out of place and things like that, that can really have an effect on your stomach and your gut and just your overall health. So all of those things, you can tell your husband, yes, like I need to go get a massage for this program. Really does help to give your body and health, mind, everything, the stress levels, things like that will benefit from adding that in. All right, so gas and bloating tips. Sorry, the pictures are in the way. All right, so here's some things that you can do. Separate the times from when you have your starches and fruits, especially like if you ever, especially in the summertime, if you're having like watermelon or cantaloupe, things like that, you never want to have anything else with a melon because melons digest super, super fast in your system. If you eat anything else with it, it's going to ferment in your stomach, and then you're going to get a lot of gas and it's not going to digest very well. But look at where you're having starches and fruits at the same time. Try and separate them if you are having gas and bloating. If you're not and you're having starches and fruits at the same time, not a big deal. Same thing with protein. Don't have two reds at the same time. I need some water. If you have two proteins at the same time, again, they're competing with each other to try and digest. Your body is using an enzyme, a protein enzyme, to try and break it down. But when it needs two different protein enzymes to break down two different proteins, it's just going to take a while. It's going to sit there, it's going to ferment, and you're going to get gas and bloating, right? So this is a trick that I talked to my team about too, is if you put fruit in your shake, just take it out for a week, see what happens. Put it with a different meal. So I always used to do bananas in my shake, and I still do love every now and then having a banana in my shake, but I've switched it to an avocado. You don't taste it. It, makes it all nice and like creamy like a banana. And also the fat from the avocado is really good as well. But having your fruit in your shake is technically adding a starch and a fruit. So see if that works for you. Just see what happens, right? All this is just, a test, right? Like you're going to just try it out, see if you notice any difference. If you do, great, you solve the problem. If not, all right, you can, throw that out off the list and try something else. Another thing that you can try and do, we've learned this from the cleanse that we have on Beachbody, is don't drink while you eat because it's diluting your stomach acids, and you need your stomach acid to be high in order to activate your digestive enzymes. So if you drink and you're eating, you're just kind of like watering down your acidity level. And when you drink, make sure it's either room temperature or warmer. Again, your body is just using more energy to bring that back to body temperature, and having warm liquids also going to help with that stomach motility and get things moving along. Other things to take in consideration, your previous diet. So if you do have gas and bloating or headaches, things like that, and you're like, oh my God, like this is awful. Well, is it the program that's awful, or was your diet before awful? Just being honest, right? So give yourself a gut check, no pun intended. If you ate like crap, then yeah, you might be experiencing some detox symptoms, headaches, bloating. Maybe you have to run to the bathroom. That might be your body's way of just getting that crap out of your body, right? And when you're adding probiotics, so with the Revitalize, with the probiotics in Shakeology, your body only has so much room for bacteria, right? So when you're adding that good bacteria in, it's pushing the bad bacteria out. So that might make you gassy, that might make you poop a little bit more, that might make you run to the bathroom for a little bit. If you're like that for 3 days and then you're good, okay, you can say, all right, it was just, I had a lot of bad things in there. It was just getting pushed out because the good parking spaces were getting taken up. I already mentioned this, it can take up to 72 hours or longer to have symptoms from a food allergy appear. So again, logging and tracking is going to be the way to go to really understand what you're really allergic to. Adding in things slowly to see if there's an issue. It's going to be the same thing after week 4. If you decide to add things back in, you want to do it slowly. If you do it if you add everything back in at once, you don't know what the trigger is. So same things, but adding new things in. I know it's kind of like going against what Autumn said of like 30 different things. If you add in 30 different things and you're having, issues going into week 2 and week 3, then it's hard to tell what things are the trigger, right? So track your food. And if you guys want to even bring your list on for next week and you have issues, we can go through some people's food logs, see what food I think they can remove, and go from there. And then this was really a cool, I guess, I don't know, tip or thing I read is research suggests that up to 90% of individuals who suffer from any form of chronic joint pain are, and I know a lot of you guys on this call do have joint pain, are sensitive to nightshades. So what are nightshades? Autumn didn't talk about this, but it really in the anti-inflammatory world, nightshades are taken out in an anti-inflammatory diet. You can try this right away and see how you feel. You can do this after 4 weeks, totally up to you guys. But nightshades belongs to a family of plants, and it just is a naturally occurring drug really in the plant known as a alkaloid. And it's just like in tobacco. So tobacco is actually a nightshade, and there's nicotine in the tobacco, right? And what does nicotine cause? Inflammation. So it's kind of like the plant's way of protecting itself from getting eaten. And this is true. There's some theorists out there that do no plants for this reason. We won't go down that road, but they don't do any plants because they believe that there is like chemicals in plants that, just like there's all theorists about don't eat any meat. There's a million different sides you can go down, but that these plants send out these inflammatory markers so that they don't get eaten. But these ones are pretty mainstream, known to be very inflammatory. And again, try to take these, and I'll show you guys the list. You can try and take these nightshades out of your diet, see if you feel any difference. And again, it's going to take about a week or 2 weeks of taking these things out to see if you notice a difference. So they are tomatoes, potatoes, all peppers, except peppercorn, so black and white pepper. But like I said on last week's call too, black and white pepper is always on people's blood results for a food allergy. So I wouldn't do that anyways. And then other things are eggplants, goji berries, gooseberries, all those things here, right? My time is coming. But you can just take these things out. Just give them to me. Say, here's my first appearance on a Zoom. Hello. It's feeding time. Yeah, so you can take these things out, see if you notice a difference. And then you can add them back in. And again, you can see if you notice a difference. No, Autumn doesn't say this, but it's just another thing that I've learned along my journey. So if someone else, Lisa, Tracy, wants to take over for the Q&A, I'm going to mute myself, but I will be listening. Anybody want to take over for Q&A?
Anyone got any questions?
I know some of you have questions.
I know.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, I've been struggling. I'm one of those people.
Tracy, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't? Can you hear me now? Can't hear me?
Can anyone else hear Tracy?
Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear.
okay, maybe it's just me. I'll be quiet then.
Maybe. I personally, I feel like I eat pretty good, but I'm one of those, I have a hard time using the restroom. I'm always constipated. And so I depend on a cup of coffee every morning to help me go to the bathroom. I don't know if that's just me, but since I've cut out coffee, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've not used the bathroom in 2 days and I'm eating more. So I'm kind of feeling miserable, but I did have the Calm in my pantry that Rose was talking about. So it made me a glass of Calm magnesium and hopefully it'll help me sleep. And I will report back to everyone if I go to the bathroom in the morning. So cheers.
I can't wait to hear.
I can't wait to tell everyone if I use the bathroom.
I hope you share it on your story as soon as it happens so that we all can know.
Not happening.
I have a question, and it doesn't really have anything to do with this, but when we do our vegetables, do we measure them out? Do we count them like raw or after cooked? Because you know how they shrink down after they're cooked?
Yeah, like which ones specifically? Like
I
spinach?
mean, all of them. I've been making like mixed vegetables, so all of it. Peppers, broccoli, zucchini, of course, you know, goes very small.
I always kind of just make it different every time I do it.
Yeah, I always done after. And Autumn actually does a video in the past. She says it really doesn't matter either way.
Okay.
But I personally do mine, and I've always gotten results from it by measuring it after it's cooked. Because I cook in bulk, so it's kind of hard for me to, you know.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if you have like a half a cup of extra of spinach, I really don't think that's going to throw you out of anything.
Right. Okay.
I think it'll be good.
Thank you.
Who else? Anybody else questions? I feel like I had one. I can't remember it. Oh, Rose, this is a good one for you if you could hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Shauna asked today, do you know if they're going to come up with a tracking? You know, they have it on the app for either Tubi or.
They're asking for it, so I feel like they're hearing it. I feel like they will. I just don't know when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, Tom Brady does eat no nightshades. I heard that too somewhere. I forget if it was on a TV show or something.
That's really fun. I cannot not eat red peppers. So good.
That would be
Oh,
hard.
here was my question. Who knows this? Because it might have been in something that I didn't read or forgot or whatever. Why did they separate the A's and the B's for the greens and for the reds and the yellows? Like, why is it one of each?
I think so you can get more plants in, she said. It's like your beans and everything's gonna count as a plant.
Yeah, I
too.
think it was to like reduce like the red meat and just get a more plant-based source.
Okay.
Anybody else with any techie questions for me or any nerdy questions or any poop questions?
Yeah. What about this? Is so gross. When your poop is like oily, like it's regular, but it looks like when you look at it that there's oil in it.
So that means that you're not digesting your fats correctly, right? So that means your fat's running right through you. You're not absorbing it.
Well, I'm definitely absorbing fat. Okay, that's not an issue here.
So you have no fat in your body. That's what that means.
No.
I
So
know what you mean.
the digestive enzymes will come from. and help you break down your fats correctly.
Okay.
Okay. So like when I do stool tests for people, there's actually a part in the stool test that will see how much, it's called fecal fat, how much fecal fat is in your poop. And if you have a high percentage of fecal fat, that just means that you're not absorbing your fats correctly.
So these digestive enzymes that we're taking every day, I kind of feel like, okay, I'm taking digestive enzymes. Maybe other people feel like this too. And I'm just taking it because it says to take it, of course, and I trust the process. But like you just said, it's going to help break all your food apart and help your body to absorb it better. So if I am having problems with constipation and I'm eating healthy, maybe it's because my body's not absorbing everything, Rose, and these digestive enzymes that I'm supplementing in here is going to help me with that. Correct?
Yeah. If like your food particles too big and it's getting into your colon and not being broken down correctly, then yeah, it can definitely sit there and cause issues. So if your body's more able to break it down, then it's going to be able to move it along quicker.
Yeah, and I've added the soothe in as well. So I'm excited to be able to just use the restroom without having a cup of coffee. So hopefully this will help me out.
And do you do the magnesium, Tracy? The magnesium calm?
I'm drinking it right now, but no, I don't. But I had it in my pantry from a long time ago. And whenever you were going through your slides, I was like, I have that in the pantry. So I went to get it. I was like, I'm going to drink that and see if I can use the bathroom now.
I don't know if Barb's on, but I told her to take it like 2 weeks ago. She's pregnant. And the day that she had it, she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. It works. So take it, Tracy.
I usually take it for sleep because I struggle with sleep also. So I think I'll get the best of both.
There you go.
All right.
Anybody else with any questions?
I have a question, but it doesn't have to do with the talk tonight.
That's fine.
I want to know, how do I store my fermented blueberries? Like once they're done doing their little bubble thing, do I just leave them in the jar and scoop them out and drain them when I'm going to use them?
I mean, does it say to refrigerate them?
It doesn't. So it's like, I don't, what do I do with them?
I would definitely, I mean, like with the fermented sauerkraut, fermented pickles, like they do go in the fridge. So
Okay.
I feel like they'd go bad.
Yeah, that's why it's like, I don't know what I should do with them. I mean,
Have you tried them yet?
I haven't, because I didn't know, can I drain them? So I just figured we're going to talk tonight. I'll just wait and ask the question.
Yeah, I would definitely put them in the fridge.
Okay. All right. Should I drain them though?
No, I would leave them in.
Okay. All right. Good. Then I'm going to try them.
Let us know how they are.
I will.
I think everyone's curious.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, maybe one person like don't put it in the fridge, one person does, and see which one tastes better. Anybody else with any other questions?
I'll see you guys in the group.
All right, everyone, have a good night. I'll put the recording up tomorrow.
Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.